Hello, everybody. We are getting ready to start our research project. And so this video is to introduce you to a couple of things regarding our research project. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the process that we're going to go through for research. It's really important that you know that research is a process. It is not just hopping onto Google and looking for something real quick. We call that couch research. So when I get home, I have a Google Home, and my husband and I will ask Google Home lots of questions all the time about, what year did this happen, or how tall is this person, or how old is somebody. And that's just something where you just need a quick answer. Siri is great for that. Alexa is great for that. Google is great for that. But when it's an actual research project, it really is a process. And so that's what we're going to be going through over the next several weeks. This process is called the Stripling model of inquiry that you see on the screen. This is what we'll be using. So a couple things I want you to notice. It is not a straight line. It's almost like a circle. So if you need to go backwards, you can. You'll notice the arrows go both ways. And you also notice that it keeps going. There's really no point that you jump in or jump out. Now, we're going to have to jump in and jump out just because we do have a time limit. But professional researchers can go through this process over and over again for years. As they learn new information, they form more questions. So this is used by a lot of people when doing research. You are not the only ones doing this. So we're going to jump in. You'll notice my mouse moving right here between connect and wonder. And you guys are going to connect your topic to self and previous knowledge, meaning you're going to get to choose your own topic. You'll learn more about that in class if you haven't already, or if you missed that class, you're going to need to watch the choosing your research topic video so that you can learn more about that. So we're going to jump in here between connect and wonder. And then once you choose your topic, the next step is to develop questions. Most of your topics are going to be broad enough that if you looked those topics up on Google, you would have millions and millions of results. We don't want that. That's way too much to look through in the time that we have. So you're going to develop questions that kind of guide your research in certain directions. After that, we'll use keywords to make hypotheses so that you have an idea of what kind of information you're going to be finding as you do your research. Then we move on to investigate. When we investigate, we're actually looking up information. You're going to get different resources to use that you can use to find information. We'll also talk about how to cite sources. And so then once you gather information, you'll move to construct. With construct, as you take notes, your ideas and opinions and images, mental images about your topic are going to change. So those notes are going to be shaping that. As you draw those conclusions during construct, you're going to express them via sway. So this year, what we're using to express our information is sway. If you've never used sway, you will be taught how to use it. Once you turn your sway in, then we're going to reflect on our learning. And we're going to be thinking about what we learned and how we're going to use that in the future. Or maybe what we learned and what we don't think we'll ever use in the future. And then we'll hop out of this process because it'll be the end of the session. If we had a long time to research, if it was a semester long or a year long class, we might continue this process. But that's what it's going to look like for now. I want to show you a rubric so that you can see how you're going to be graded. A lot of times people who complete a research project, they only get graded on that final project. So for example, this project, people in the past, you may have only been graded on your sway or your PowerPoint or your poster, your paper. You are graded on the entire process in this class because the whole process is taught and checked. So it's worth 70 points, which is over 40% of your final grade. And you're graded on the topic you choose, whether there's plenty of sources available for that topic. You're graded on your questions, and how you focus what you're going to be researching. You're graded on the keywords that you write. You're graded on how well you answer your complex questions. You're graded on the notes that you take. I will teach you different ways to take notes. And so you're going to need to do that. You're graded on the credible sources you use. You are graded on the bibliography you create with those credible sources. And then finally, the last two parts of this is you are graded on your sway. You can always find this in your OneNote notebook. So if you go to your notebook, and let me make this bigger for you. If you go to your notebook and you go to the content library, there is a research section. Actually, there's a grading section. There we go. So if you click on content library, you'll see there's a grading section and there's a research page, and that has that rubric in there so that if you ever want to go back and look at that again, you can. Again, this is something that's going to take place over about a month's time. The one thing that I do want to let you know, and we'll talk more about this, is I do not allow plagiarism. So we are not going to be copying and pasting information off of websites for any reason. If I find that any part of your project, either your notes or your sway, is plagiarized, you will have about 1 week outside of class to redo your entire project. We'll have a conversation about that. I'll show you where I found the plagiarism. I'll inform parents about it just so that they're aware of it, and you'll have to redo it because I cannot grade work that doesn't belong to you. Again, we'll talk more about that as we get to note taking so that you know ways to avoid plagiarism. But other than that, that's the introduction to our research project. So again, if you missed the class where this lesson was taught, you will now also want to watch the choosing a research topic video. Thanks, guys.